So let's go ahead and review how I did last Monday during my Hyrox workout. So I've been able to use Amazfit to tailor my workouts to Hyrox specific. It's been good. Probably talk more about that in another video, but until then, let's just go ahead and look at the stats. So roughly I'm starting around 5:10. See that I burned about 462 calories. It was about an hour workout. You can switch this up to different rounds, but I tend to just keep it on the same round. And then you can see the training load. So let's go ahead and take a look at the heart rate. Average was 116, max was 148. I want to be, for me personally, in the anaerobic zone, but you can see in this workout, I stay primarily within intensive and aerobic. And then we'll take a look at the training effect. It is medium, so it's all looking pretty good, but I'd like to see the numbers for my heart rate a little bit higher, just so that I can feel like I'm pushing as much as possible. All right, so let's go ahead and check out Tuesday's workout. So on Tuesdays, I do a long run. You can see, once again, I started at 5:10 in the morning, so pretty consistent. Only ran 4 miles. It is a zone 2, zone 3 run. Even if it weren't, I'm not a very fast runner, but I did burn some calories. You can see I burned 630 calories. My average pace is about 14 miles per hour, and the average heartbeat was 139, and training load was 120. You can see that my workout goal is for 1 hour. That's all the time I have. I wish I had more time. Let's go ahead and take a look at my heart rate during the workout. So my average was 139, my max is 167, and my post-workout dropped by 31 heartbeats. So I like to know that this is that my heartbeat is dropping down, so that I know that I'm able to be a little bit more relaxed and controlled after the extensive workouts. And then let's look at the heart rate zones. I'm usually in the aerobic and anaerobic area for my heart rate, and for about 2 minutes I maxed out my VO2, which I definitely felt. We get down to my cadence and then my vertical oscillation. For those of us who aren't scientists, let's go ahead and click on the question mark so we can get details on it. Give you a second to read it. Cool. Most importantly is just to look at the reference range. For recreational runners were 6 to 13 centimeters, and then for elites 5 to 10. And we go back to where I'm at 6'9", so I'm clearly a recreational runner. And then here we go, let's go down to ground contact. Let's look at these numbers. So 305, 258. Let's take a look at the definition, and then we'll go ahead and review the reference range. So for recreational runners, 120 to about 30 milliseconds, and for elite you have 180 to 200. If we go back to where I'm at, we're at 305. So it would be great to get these numbers down. And then something I'm always concerned about is the actual training effect. So you can see, based on the watch, I'm good. Would love to be great or amazing, whatever the next level is. Haven't seen it yet, but right now we're good. And if you take a look at the breakdown of my runs, my fastest run was actually the 3rd run. All right, let's go ahead and review Wednesday's Hyrox training. I really do wish that you were able to see the exact exercises that I'm doing within the app. They just doesn't show you here. That's kind of disappointing. You can see it on the watch. In another video, or maybe actually in these edits, we'll see. Maybe I'll just let you know what those exercises are. But let's take out the heart rate. So average was 118, max is 166. I was in VO2 for 1 minute, not too bad. And then hovering in the anaerobic and aerobic as usual for the majority of the time, followed by being in intensive for, actually I'd say for all of the time. And then we get down to the training effect. So medium on both the aerobic and anaerobic, which is pretty much where I'd like to be on both fronts. During Wednesdays, if I can kind of remember off the top of my head, I feel like I'm doing like sled pulls and sled pushes, which would make sense for the anaerobic, but I don't recall off the top of my head. So like I said, another video, perhaps I will actually break down what I am doing on these days. But yeah, things are progressing. Let's take a look at Thursday's Hyrox training. Average heart rate's 117, and the max was 150, and the training load was 46. Not sure where I got 100 from. Not very high at all. Never even touched VO2 max. And I spent I'd say all of my time in intensive heart rate zone. So I must have been burnt out and just kind of hanging out on this day. And then for the training effect, it's just medium, nothing for anaerobic. So I really do need to take a look at what I was actually doing and figure out where I can adjust, because this is just not a very it's not very good output. Like, I did burn some calories, which is always good. I try to burn anywhere between 400 to 600, 700 on an amazing day, but the time that I have is limited. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna review prior weeks, Thursdays, to see how I performed on those days in those weeks. All right, let's review Fridays. Pretty good, almost 600 calories, where I want to be, anywhere between 400 to 600 calories within a Hyrox training session. You can see my average heart rate was 135. My training load is 127. It's where I would like to be. Feels like I'm actually doing something. If we scroll down, I spent about 44 seconds in VO2. So nothing crazy, didn't explode. I spent a lot of the time within the anaerobic and aerobic areas, which is perfect. Feels like my heart isn't working that hard to the point where I feel exhausted. So, I feel like the training and the preparation and recovery are all coming together. And then what I always like to see is the training effects. Want to get these all in the amazing, the great, whatever that next level is. Haven't gotten past good on either of these, but it does look good and it felt good on this particular day. So we'll go ahead and close out the week, and we'll see what the next week holds.